it's Amy Cho. Who wants to hit it longer off the tee? I do. To hit it long off the tee, you really have to have a good transition between your backswing and your downswing. If the transition is ever so slightly off, now your arms are going to want to take over, and that's going to really throw your swing plane off, and also your power is going to get super weak. So we are going to work on that transition move, and it's the sit move we're really gonna focus on. The sit move, you've probably seen it on the PGA Tour. A lot of guys do it. Actually, most of the guys do it. Like Tiger Woods is a great example. DJ, Rory, they're all very good at this sit movement. And when you hear this sit move, you're thinking, oh, it's a pro move. It's a very difficult move. Well, you're right, but it's your lucky day because I'm going to Amify it for you, meaning making golf simple, fun, and effective, and I will make you get that sit move going today. The simple drill we're going to use is the 3-step drill. Basically, it goes like this. Backswing is step number 1, and step number 2 is a little sit. Notice how my hands didn't come down or my hips turned. It was just, everything was still, and I set like about an inch or two straight down. And then number 3 is the hip turn. Simple as that, guys. Let's do that again. Number 1 is a turn, number 2 is the sit, number 3 is the hip turn. Now we can't have a robotic swing like that, so we gotta link it up. This is the important part, guys. When we link it up, we're going to link up number 1 and 2 together. So it kind of goes like this. It's a backswing and sit, and then we're gonna turn the hips. A lot of the amateurs, when they link it up, they make the mistake of linking number 2 and number 3 together. So they take it back and then they sit and turn, and that's going to give you a huge banana slice, and we don't want that short and crooked shots, right? So we have to make sure to finish your backswing with a sit. That way you're gripping down with your feet, your stability is really strong, and then you can really turn those hips through so you can rip that driver down the middle. Kind of goes like this. So I want to turn, sit, and then turn like this. Ooh, I really hit that hard, guys. It went straight. So if you want to gain distance off the tee, try this Amified sit drill I've shown you. Super simple. Take it very slow at first, but you'll get it right away, and you'll be wowed by how far you can hit it.
Chris Como here, and we're going to talk a little bit about driving and the proper body motion to get rid of a slice and hit more of a draw shape to your drives. Now, what we see typically with people who are slicing it, the way their body is working is as they make their backswing and they start down, there's oftentimes a standing up motion, almost some people call it early extension, the standing up motion, and then from there that trail side is staying really high, and they're coming over the top with the club coming from the outside, the face open, hitting the slice. Okay, now the proper motion would be one where as you start down, you get a little bit of shift to the left foot, that trail side is staying back, and then through the shot, that you're going to see that trail side working just slightly underneath the left with what they would call like a little bit of right lateral flexion from the thoracic spine. So up from here up, there's a little bit of this right motion through the shot, makes your whole trail side a little bit lower, really helps to get this club, especially you start down with the trail side holding a bit, really helps to get this club working from the inside, slight into out path, which is part of hitting a draw. Now, the analogy that seems to have helped people on the teaching tee is making it sort of this visual similarity to boxing. So the slicing motion would be one where you're feeling like you're almost kind of hitting a hook, where that whole trail side is staying high, it's sort of wrapping around early. Okay, you don't want that. You don't want to hit a hook. Now, the proper motion would be one where you're in there and you're kind of getting a little bit down, that trail side is staying a little bit lower, and then through the shot, you feel like you're hitting an uppercut. Okay, so the analogy again is don't hit a hook, hit an uppercut to whatever, hit that knockout drive that's a high draw down the middle, but that's the idea. Make sure that body motion is correct, otherwise it's almost impossible to get the club from the right plane, the right path through impact to give you a draw versus a slice. Hope that helps you out. Try that next time you're practicing. I think it can really add some distance to your drives.
Martin Hall, coming to you from the magnificent driving range at Lake Nona Golf and Country Club in Orlando, Florida. Oh my goodness, the lament I hear from golfers, if only I could turn a bit more, I'm sure I would hit the ball more distance off the tee. You would, because the amount we turn the shoulders and the amount we turn the hips has a lot to do with how far the ball can go. You are potentially, the more you turn your hips and turn your shoulders, potentially you are giving yourself a longer runway, a longer sort of path of acceleration into the ball. Now, a lot of people know that you need to turn your shoulders and you need to turn your hips, but they still don't turn far enough. And that's because they don't know about the third turn. Yes, there's hips, there's shoulders, and there is another turn that you see all the great players do. There is a slight turn of the head in the backswing. The head does not stay still. It stays in about the same place, but it does not stay still. Let me demonstrate. I'm going to put a drinking straw between my teeth. I'll try and talk, so it might sound a bit strange. But as I'm swinging back, will you watch for me, please, how this drinking straw turns to my right as I'm going back. The shoulders are turning, the hips are turning. Hello. Now the head's turned a little bit. That small amount of turn where I feel I'm almost looking at the ball with my left ear, that extra turn, that third turn, will often give me 10 degrees more shoulder turn as I'm going back. So what do I do with that? Well, I hit balls, and so should you, or at least practice swings perhaps, with a drinking straw. So I'm going to hit one with a drinking straw here, and if it stays still like this, then I've done a very bad job, and we don't want to do that. So I'm hoping that you will see this will turn. It will increase my hip turn, my shoulder turn, and therefore my distance. The third turn, here we go. Let's see if I can make the straw turn the third turn. Here we go. Little bit high, but not too bad. What I said there was, a little bit high, but not too bad. So if you just put a drinking straw in your mouth and allow your head to turn just a little bit as you're swinging, you will find that your shoulder turn increases, you'll find that your hip turn increases, and you'll very likely find that your distance off the tee increases. And we all like that. That's going to help you play better.
Hey there, Martin Chuck here, and welcome to the Raven Golf Club in Phoenix, Arizona. You know, I love hitting solid tee balls down the middle. To do that, you need to develop some energy and power. And developing a great backswing is going to help you do that. It's a nice functional turn. I want to show you how to hug your way to a great backswing. So a lot of you have a Swiss ball at home. So really simply, give this a nice bear hug. Reach around the ball, and what I want you to do is go ahead and feel like you can turn these arms. I want you to turn and really have a sense that you can turn your back to the target. And you'll notice if I hold this ball right there, I can't really retract my arms. I can't do some funny business with my arms. Basically, for those of you that get lazy in your golf swing, what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of this behavior, because it's really easy to move your shoulders and your elbows rather than giving this a nice hug and turning it back to the target, keeping your arms in front of you. So give this Swiss ball a hug. Really feel the back go to the target, back to the target, and then rotate this through, chest to the target. If you have one at home, this is a great thing to do before you even go to the golf course and hit the range to warm up. Or if you can't even warm up, do this a few minutes at home before you go to the first tee. Back to the target. That way, if you let your arm go behind you, guess what's going to happen? You're going to drop the ball. So the senses for that. Now that you've given it a few hugs, you recognize that a turn isn't arms that go and get pinned behind you. A turn, it's unifying arms and torso, getting this event to where if I stood and faced the downline camera, it pretty much looked like this. So that's my chest turn deeply, and from there, I can have a lot of speed running back up into the golf ball. We want to avoid the lazy backswing with just arms. We want to feel like as though we have our arms connected to our body with a nice big turn, and that's how you are going to hit a bunch of great shots. If you like this tip and want more great content and instruction, go check out GolfPass. Thanks for watching.
Man, so high, so right, so much pull down from the top. Hi, I'm Devin Bonebrake, host of the Golf Fix. And if you struggle in that transition period, you get real steep at the beginning, you pull your arms closer to you, get too narrow, aren't able to rotate coming through, I got a great drill for you. It's called the shirt hanger drill. I'm gonna go ahead and put my driver away for a moment. We're gonna grab this hanger. And what I want you to try to imagine is when you're holding this, is that you're gonna go place it as you go back onto a rack. So you're up at the top. As you start down, I want you to really try to feel like from here, you're keeping it on the rack. You're not gonna pull the rack down. You don't want everything to fall off. You don't want your wife or girlfriend to get mad at you. You're gonna keep it right there. You're gonna feel like you're separating your lower body while it stays there. And then after you get that separation, then the torso can go and then the shirt can start to move. So that's kind of the idea. I'm gonna put this back now before I mess it up any more than I already have. Grab my driver, and that's the same sensation that you wanna have too. So grab a ball, get your arms to stay up for a while. We don't want to have that pull down. We don't want to feel like we're getting super narrow. You know, we don't want to feel like everything's getting so close to us here. We want to feel like we're getting that lower body some time to separate and move forward. So I'm going to feel that a couple times and then hit all the way back. Keep it on the hanger, keep it on the hanger. Take your setup and go ahead and rip it down the middle. Love it. High bomb, right down the middle. So use the hanger drill. Feel your hand staying in the air longer. Let that lower body separate. I know you're going to be hitting higher, longer, straighter drives sooner than ever.
I'm Alex Riggs. Today I'm on the practice tee at the Mission Inn Resort and Club, home of the legendary El Campeon golf course. Now today I'm talking to you about speed. Everybody wants to bomb that driver. But we need to understand this is just as much a technical conversation as it is a nervous system conversation. There's technical pieces that we need in order to create more speed. We need to unlock everything in that backswing, get as much turn as possible, get that golf club creating the biggest circle we can. A bigger circle is a faster circle, so let's create a huge turn here. But from a nervous system standpoint, we need to understand that this needs to be trained. And for us to be able to generate more club head speed, we need to practice at maximum club head speed. Now what that means is I would ignore direction when you're working on speed. Go to the range, go be crazy, put on that workout gear and swing like you've never swung before. The harder the better. We need your brain to learn to operate at a faster rate. You do this enough, you will start picking up those miles per hour. So from a technical standpoint, what I want you to feel, let's get everything relaxed. Let's take all the tension out of the arms, grip pressure as soft as you can. Let's remember that a bigger turn is going to help us create a bigger circle, and a bigger circle is a faster one. So let's allow that front foot to come off the ground a little bit. Let that lead heel lift. The bigger turn is going to give us that bigger arc. So I'm allowing that left heel to come up. My grip pressure is super relaxed. And what I'm going to play around with initially in terms of a feeling is making what I call snake swings. Snake swings are basically this whiplash motion where I'm going back and forth from one foot to the other, letting the golf club catch up to me to create that snap on the way through. So I'm going to start with the golf club and my torso around towards the finish, and I'm going to create a step into my trail foot. That's going to get the whole chain started. So I step into that right foot, I swing back around, I move into my left, and I swing through. And I'm just going to make this motion continuous. Back and forth, learning how to stay nice and relaxed and get everything out of that motion. This is all about creating a very effortless type of a speed. We're learning to create speed by creating whip, not by trying to do this with force. Force often has too much tension, and that slows us down. So let's get used to feeling relaxed. Let's take away those inhibitions of control. And I'm going to send this golf ball with as much speed as I possibly can, not caring where it goes. Look at my launch monitor afterwards to see what we can create. And let's let it go. I think I need to play like that all the time. So remember, if we want to pick up speed, this is a long-term conversation. Let the speed happen with time. Swing as hard as you possibly can. Don't care where it goes, and that speed will surely get faster.
Chris Como here, and we're going to talk driving. And probably the biggest ball flight that I see that's maybe not desirable is the slice. And what's happening when we slice the ball? So two things are happening. One, the face is open to the path, and the path is too far left of the target. So what ends up happening is you have this path that's going left, you have the face open to the path. The face actually may be closed to the target, if this ball is starting left and then curving, but it's always going to be open to the path if it's curving to the right. So we got the path left, the face open to the path, ball slices, you know, sometimes hit some good shots, sometimes have a hard time finding it. How do we fix that? So two things have to happen. If we want to hit a draw, we got to get the path shifted out to the right, but then we also have to get the face close to the path so this ball wants to curve to the left. Okay, easy enough, right? Well, easier said than done. So the big debate is, what do you change first, the path or the face? They both have to change, but what do you hit first? Because it's hard to try and do both at the same time. You can, but if we were to pick one thing, which one would you start out with? In general, I think you want to try to learn how to square the face first. What happens is, if you can get that face close to the path, even if the path is too far left, the ball starts to curve to the left, and if the path is left and you got the face close to the path, that ball is going to start left and go even more left. Bad shot. But your brain starts to figure it out, starts to like organize everything subconsciously. And what I've seen is that people oftentimes react to that and start to actually naturally swing more out to the right. So let's talk, how do we get the face closed? Now the biggest thing is for a lot of golfers, when they come into impact, they don't really know how to turn their forearm down. They don't know how to square their forearm and then turn the club face through impact. Now this can happen at different parts of the swing. Some people do it a little earlier, some people do it late. Either way, you want to make sure there's this bowing of the wrist, and then with that, and sort of a downward uncocking, and with that, the forearm starts to turn towards the target. Now, the big fault that people do when they try to do this for the first time is they come in, this would be the good version. I'm going to use this bucket as like almost like an impact bag. So the good version would be, I'm getting in there, I'm tapping that toe, that's getting the face more closed. The bad version is when they take their right arm and it actually starts to go this way to close the face. So you can see that's clearly not a good thing, but what exactly is happening? So if we look at my upper arm, you got your humerus, it's in your shoulder, that can be indicated by sort of the underbelly of your elbow. If that starts to turn down, then you know that turning motion of your forearms is actually happening from your shoulder. And what that's going to do is it's going to actually throw the path to the left as you're squaring it. So that would be, you know, not the ideal version because the path and the face are getting closed. What we want to do is we want to make sure that the belly of your elbow is pointing up as you square it from your forearm, not from your shoulder. So what it's going to look like is that belly is up towards the sky. Now I'm toe tapping the club. So the drill for you is to find an impact bag. You can use your golf bag, you can use a pillow, just something that's somewhat soft, and get in there and really feel like you're able to tap the toe of the club into that bag right through impact, but make sure that belly of the elbow doesn't turn down, stays up to the sky. So this is how we are going to really learn how to square the face without shifting the path too much to the left. This is how we're going to square that face, get this path more out to the right. Again, this is the formula for hitting a high draw. Path out to the right, face close to the path. That's going to make the ball start to the right. If the face is a little bit open to the target but close to the path, the ball will start to the right, draw back. It's a great recipe for hitting those high, long drives that have a slight right to left shape to it.
We all know that everybody wants more distance off of the tee. It statistically leads to lower scores when you have a shorter iron or a wedge into a green versus a long iron. So how do we get more distance? I've got a few great drills for you today that will hopefully free you up a little bit so that we can make a faster swing with more club head speed to get you up there closer to the green. The first one I've got for you is a little bit of that Kyle Berkshire drill. So he's a long drive guy for those of you who don't know who that is, and he hits it super far. So one of the things he does with his coach Bernie Najar is he starts rocking back and forth. So I'm gonna kind of put my weight on my front foot and then move it back and forth, and I'm just allowing my arms and the club to swing with me as I do that. So you can see the club's kind of moving with my body. I'm gonna do that a few times, and then I'm gonna actually swing back and through. And you can see when I do that, I'm actually stepping with my front foot, which will initiate my downswing. When I do this, it allows me to push down into the ground before pushing back up and through the ball. This creates more club head speed because we're using the ground more effectively. The second drill I have for you You can actually hit balls with both of these. But the second drill, I'm gonna hover the golf club up in the air a little bit as I'm getting my setup. I'm just gonna start to kind of go back and through. I'm leaving my feet on the ground this time, but I'm allowing my chest and hands to swing back and through a little bit. And then I'm gonna go up and through the ball. So when we actually go to hit the ball, the club is starting way out in front of that golf ball. It's gonna give me some momentum going back. It's gonna force my weight to transfer correctly, and it's going to help me create a lot more speed coming down and through the shot here. So again, we're gonna kind of go back and forth like this, and I'm really using and focusing on my feet and the ground to get more speed. And then I'm gonna focus on having nice loose hands and arms, and I'm gonna swing back and through. Very similar drills, but the first one is certainly focusing on using the ground a little bit more than the second one is. All right, so let's go ahead and hit some now. We're gonna use both drills to hit these golf balls. I'm gonna start with that Kyle Berkshire drill. So I'm gonna get my setup here first, and then I'm just gonna start rocking back and forth with my feet. Yeah, so you can see how that weight transfer and really using the ground helps to create a lot of club head speed. It's a great drill. Obviously, if a long drive guy like him is using it, it's a good one for you to use as well. The second one we can do, we're gonna just get our setup, just like normal here. We're leaving our feet planted on the ground this time, and we're just gonna start swinging our hands and arms back and through. Yeah, I love the speed and the ball flight I have when I do these drills. It's definitely gonna help you hit longer drives, which again, statistically leads to lower scores. So try these drills out, and I know they're gonna help you hit longer drives.